Welcome to Tech Blueprint, a window that lets you know the latest technology news in the world. The truth behind US chip sanctions may be completely different than you think. A company recently developed a 3nm chip, but the US ignored it completely. Instead, Huawei, with its more backward manufacturing process, was severely thwarted. The reason can be summed up in two words: independent technology. If you use someone else's blueprints to build a house, no matter how tall it is, they won't be afraid. But if you draw your own blueprints, even if you only build a single-story house, they will come to demolish it. The US sanctions list is a blacklist of China's technological independence. The chip industry is like building a skyscraper. The blueprints are the architecture. Almost all the blueprints for mobile chips worldwide come from a company called ARM. Although ARM is headquartered in the UK, its development is inseparable from the support of US capital and technology circles, and its ecosystem is deeply tied to the US. A certain company can produce 3nm chips because it strictly adheres to ARM's blueprints. From design tools to core architecture, it is within the US-dominated technology ecosystem. This prosperity does not threaten US status, rather, it consolidates its hegemony. Huawei was sanctioned precisely because it began drawing its own blueprints. Kirin chips utilize the self-developed Sanctioned architecture, replacing the public ARM design. Huawei also launched Harmony OS, attempting to build an ecosystem independent of Android and iOS. The United States holds a 72% market share in chip design tools. Without this American software, high-end chip design is impossible. In the chip core sector, ARM technology holds over 50% of the global IP market. 99% of smartphones on the market use ARM technology. Huawei's proprietary architecture challenges the very foundation of US technological hegemony. Even though Huawei's chip manufacturing process lags behind, its independent design capabilities represent a path forward that allows it to break away from the US technological ecosystem. This is the most intolerable challenge facing the US. China's proprietary CPUs, such as Linxin and Sunway, are primarily used in the defense industry. The main reason for their low civilian market share is a lack of a robust software ecosystem. Users can use these chips, but face challenges such as a lack of software and poor compatibility. Although they cover most common software, there is still a gap compared to Android and iOS. Many application features require subsequent updates to be fully implemented. Rebuilding the ecosystem requires a long period of time, a common challenge faced by all proprietary systems. Huawei chose to deeply optimize its proprietary chips starting from the software level. Improving efficiency through hardware-software collaborative design is a similar strategy to Apple's. In the absence of a breakthrough in manufacturing bottlenecks, focusing on system optimization is a realistic option. US sanctions are precisely targeted at China's development of independent technologies. A company manufacturing 3nm chips was not sanctioned because it was at the downstream end of the industry. Huawei's development of its own architecture and systems, which touches on upstream core technologies, has become a target. 6 of the world's top 10 chip design companies are American. These companies control 91% of the market share, creating an absolute monopoly. ARM holds a dominant position in embedded system design, with over 430 customers. ARM has shipped a cumulative 310 billion chips, and all of the top 30 semiconductor companies are partners. This deep integration makes any attempt to break away from the ecosystem extremely difficult. China faces challenges in the large-scale application of its own technologies. Hardware design requires a supporting software ecosystem, and building this ecosystem requires a significant investment of developers and time. Currently, all independent systems are undergoing this process, and it is unlikely to change the market landscape in the short term. The U.S. sanctions on Huawei extend to all companies that might manufacture for Huawei. This comprehensive blockade is intended to stifle any potential for technological breakthroughs. The sanctions demonstrate a zero-tolerance attitude towards the nascent development of independent technology. American companies monopolize EDA tools at the forefront of the semiconductor industry chain. Without these tools, modern chip design is impossible. In the logic and discrete device sectors, American companies hold a 67% market share. The U.S. maintains a leading position in the analog device market with a 37% share. Advantages in these key links enable the U.S. to control the direction of the entire industry. Any challenge will be met with targeted strikes. The development of independent technology requires overcoming the natural bottlenecks of ecosystem development. User habits, developer support, and market acceptance create multiple obstacles. These factors hinder the commercialization of independent products. The Huawei case demonstrates that technological independence is more likely to trigger sanctions than process advancement. The core of U.S. policy is to maintain technological supremacy, not simply to prevent chip manufacturing. This strategic choice determines the differentiated impact of sanctions.